From Arkansas's streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 6.
Thank you for joining us this morning on THV 11, streaming on your TV with THV 11 Plus. I'm Karen Fuller. Hayden is off today. Now let's go to meteorologist Tracy Bean and traffic with Ashley King. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you? It's looking nice and clear behind you.
So far. Yeah,
so far.
Yeah,
the day ain't over yet.
That's right. Yeah, we are expecting some rain through the rush hour. So the good news is maybe a lot of folks are maybe taking the week off. So it should be lighter anyway, just with schools out, I think.
Yeah, with the holiday for sure. I hope so.
Yeah, but we are again watching a few rain showers. Ashley, you may have to deal with a few of that as you were heading into watching traffic this morning, but a little patchy fog as well across the city. But overall, again, not a lot of that right now, but we're looking for that sunrise around 6:51. We may see that get just a little bit worse around that time frame, but that sunset 4:59. Yeah, a little early there getting into that 4 o'clock hour. We do have again some rain showers across our area. Continuing to watch this warm front. It's going to push through and warm things up just for a little bit, but then that cold front off to the west is going to swing through and go ahead and solidify that cooler weather as we're heading into later Tuesday into Wednesday. So that's good news, and then that's going to stick around for a good while. So thank goodness, right? We are seeing a few of those showers, again, the bulk of that to our north, but still seeing a lot of that activity off to the west and to the south. And we've got a flood watch down here in western Arkansas again. So keeping in mind we could see some heavier rain, but right now we're really seeing a lot of that patchy fog as we're seeing those showers make its way to the metro. So that may slow you down just a little bit. We have a dense fog advisory off to the northeast where they're going to see visibility a quarter mile or less. So keeping that in mind hour by hour today, we're going to need to keep the umbrella handy all day long. That raincoat, I'm going to see those storms and rain showers on and off throughout the day. And they could be a bit stronger at times here and there, especially around mid-morning and then later today as well. But that high, it's going to really struggle to get to around 60 today. But I have a weather impact advisory again just to keep you informed and just to make sure you're checking that weather. Just keep that in your mind today, especially if you're heading out for traveling. A slight warm up as I mentioned, but then we're going to see temperatures getting a bit cooler as we're heading into Wednesday. Ashley?
Hey Tracy, yeah, this is early, but we've already seen that there's an accident. This is actually, it's not in the metro area. It's actually just outside of Russellville, but this is a FedEx truck. And so if you're waiting on a package this morning, it may be a little bit delayed. It may be on this truck, but they're trying to get the tow truck in to remove this. Looks like that it ran off of the road here. This is 40 westbound, like I said, just outside of Russellville. So you can see maybe you're going to be hitting the road today, traveling a little bit already for the Thanksgiving holiday. I know a lot of people, they are out of school, so taking off of work. So this is what you could encounter if you're traveling a little bit later on today in that direction. Hopefully they'll have that cleared up though by later on today. Drive times if you're coming into downtown Little Rock from around the metro, looking really good.
Ashley, thank you. We begin with a developing story from this weekend. Arkansas State Police are investigating a deadly shooting between a suspect and Pine Bluff officers. It started Friday night around 10:30 at 27th Avenue in Maple. Officers say right before the shooting, they'd been chasing the suspect's car. Then they say the driver suddenly stopped. 3 men got out of the car. Investigators say one of them, 23-year-old Jeremy Lawrence Jr., had a gun and was running toward 28th Avenue. At some point, an officer opened fire, hitting Lawrence several times. He later died at a hospital. Police initially reported this as an exchange of gunfire, but it's not yet clear now whether Lawrence ever fired a shot. The 2 other men in the car were detained. State Police will prepare its case file for prosecutors to determine whether the use of force meets Arkansas law standards. Meantime, the White House says weekend talks between the U.S. and Ukraine produced a revised peace proposal to end Russia's war. Sources say Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky could return to Washington this week ahead of President Trump's Thanksgiving deadline for a formal response, though that date may shift. Democratic leaders in Congress are pushing back on the plan, saying it favors Russia by asking Ukraine to surrender territory, reduce its military, and abandon its bid to join NATO.
That is a very good deal for Russia. It is a horrible deal for Ukraine, for our allies, and even for our own national security.
Also, the Trump administration is stepping up pressure on Venezuela, labeling a cartel tied to Nicolas Maduro as a terror organization. We're going to show you some new images from the Air Force of B-52s simulating a nighttime strike off the coast. A new CBS News poll shows 70% of Americans oppose using military force in Venezuela. New Israeli airstrikes this weekend are testing a ceasefire with Hamas that's barely a month old. In Gaza, the Hamas-run health ministry reports at least 24 people dead, dozens more hurt, children among them. Israel also struck Beirut in Lebanon for the first time in months, targeting Hezbollah leadership. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will continue acting independently against threats in both Gaza and Lebanon. Back here at home, time now 6:05. Anti-abortion groups and Republican lawmakers are pushing to further limit Planned Parenthood's federal funding after Congress already cut off Medicaid reimbursements through mid-2026. Their letters propose blocking all federal dollars and removing clinics from a drug discount program that helps pay for birth control, STI testing, and cancer screenings. The cuts have already forced more than 20 clinics closures nationwide, with Arkansas among the states with a governor who supports the expanded restrictions. Supporters say the move protects taxpayer dollars, while Planned Parenthood warns it will reduce basic health care access, especially in rural states. To other news now. Right now, Cabot, Conway, Beebe, Sherwood, Bryant, Little Rock, and other cities have all built or tried to build sports complexes in central Arkansas in recent years. THV 11's Carter Thweet looks at why communities are racing to create these opportunities and how they can deliver the value for the cost.
The people who are participating in that, are they likely to drive a certain distance to participate in that activity?
Dr. Stephen O'Connell is talking about sports complexes, or rec centers. O'Connell is the geography chair at the University of Central Arkansas and has worked with cities like Morrilton and Dardanelle to see if they could build these kinds of facilities.
There was an old trope that people spent a third of their time doing recreation and tourism activities. Most people do that within 10-minute drive of their home. So a lot of that is very local. It's very dependent on where people live and what's available.
And over the past few years, O'Connell has noticed a trend of more and more becoming available.
It's the communities that are on the outskirts of the major hub in the city. And they're trying to create attractions that will draw people to their cities, to make them the fast-growing part of the metro area.
But the major cities can get in on the act as well. An indoor and outdoor sports complex was one of the major pieces of Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr.'s Rebuild the Rock initiative, which voters rejected in 2024. O'Connell says in most cases, voters are more likely to support efforts like these if they feel the project will benefit them and not just visitors.
They're going to increase revenue for restaurants and hotels and other types of businesses, whereas the local residents are really looking for the activities that they can do on a day-to-day basis.
So when residents do support a new community center or sports complex, is it because they feel it will benefit them directly? Conway Mayor Bart Castleberry says yes.
You've got to build it for your citizens, for the people who live here, the people that pay their taxes to live here. You've got to build facilities that they want.
Castleberry knows what he's talking about. In 2022, he got voters to overwhelmingly support 2 bond issues to build a new community and aquatic center, as well as a new soccer complex.
It was up to the voters, and so we had a special election and they voted to approve it, and as soon as they did, we got our bond sold and got after it.
Another successful election took place in Searcy in 2024. Voters approved 2 bond measures to build, among other things, a new community center, an outdoor water park, new baseball and softball fields, and upgrades at Berry Hill Park, where I met City Planning and Development Director Richard Stafford. He says there was a nearly 2-year period of talking to residents and taking public comment before the vote even happened.
We had a list of all of the things that the community said that they wanted the most, and then we tried to deliver to them a way that we could implement a first phase of all of that.
It's why city leaders say the plan shouldn't be primarily for out-of-towners or out-of-town dollars.
We're not in this to make money. we're in this to provide a service.
And then the games and tournaments, and with them those out-of-town dollars, may come later.
And the rest of it, the competition, you know, there's enough competition in baseball and softball and everything that if you build it, they will come.
For THV 11 News, I'm Carter Thweets.
And the momentum isn't slowing among Central Arkansas cities. Sherwood had an election on Tuesday to build, among other things, a new indoor sports complex, upgraded baseball and softball fields.